Hello, everybody,
Hello, everyone.
and welcome to our Q&A live stream today. So let's just jump right into the questions. In a recent meditation about death, Aki mentioned that someone can get stuck in the etheric double of our material body. Could you talk more about what that would cause that and how to get unstuck? Also, could you please elaborate on what's involved in determining where we go after death of our material bodies? Yeah, basically this thing about being stuck in the etheric double of our material body. The material body dies, and not everyone passes immediately over to the psychical plane. So they stay in their etheric counterpart of their material body. Material body's dead. They're not in that. They're just in the etheric counterpart. But that means they're in the etheric counterpart of the material world. So a lot of times they'll be in their own homes, and they'll try talking to their loved ones, and nobody pays attention to them, and it confuses them. It gets scary. The archangels try not for this to happen, but some people, and the reason it happens is because of their strong attachments, strong material attachments to people, places, and things. So they come around, but the people aren't noticing them, and it freaks them out. They go for a door and they walk right through the door, and they don't understand what's happening because they've never trained. They've never studied what actually happens once you pass out of your material body. Those who do know it can stay around and bless people and do things like that. But the common person, if they get stuck, it freaks them out. Now, they're stuck, but they can't stay stuck forever because it's the divine law for us to pass over into the psychical planes and continue our incarnation there. And so it's a little bit like, after all these kind of weird experiences, nobody's paying attention to them. They can't open doors. They can't do anything. They just feel like I don't belong here. And they start to let go. And then that just naturally takes them over to the other side. Or we could give an analogy. It's like, if you're swimming next to a waterfall, you can do that for a while, but not forever. Sooner or later, you're going to go over the edge. And it's sort of like that. There's a draw that pulls the self-awareness into the psychical world to continue their life in a higher level. And the last part of the question was, let me answer this for a minute. What's involved in where we go after the death of our material body is every thought, every intention, every motivation, every feeling you have, every desire you have here, you're creating. I mean, the psychical worlds aren't someplace else we have to travel in a spaceship to. They're right here. They're just at a higher dimension, and our material eyes don't perceive them. Our material ears don't hear them. We need the super senses to touch these realms that are right here. So when you're hating somebody, you're creating your shell on the other side at the same time. When you're loving, you're creating a beautiful shell, transparent maybe much more transparent, obviously, than there. And we go to the shell that we're in harmony with. That is the mechanism that takes us there. So however you've been living while you're on Earth, the moment your material body dies, you don't change one bit. You're still the same personality with same fears, same hopes, same dreams, same thoughts. But so that is like, it's a vibration that attracts you right to this place. No archangel takes you there. God doesn't put somebody in hell and somebody else in heaven. We put ourselves there by how we're acting now in this world.
So after material death, we sleep. We go into kind of sleep condition, and when we awake, we will find ourselves in the psychonoetical shell in each one of us, and the matching the vibration which we vibrate in the material world. So as I said in my meditation, sometimes people are too heavy to transfer their psychonoetical body into it's not enough light to transfer it. In that case, for example, if people has a lot of attachment for something, some particular things, or accident, passed over by the accident, they don't know the fact that they passed on. In that case, they just wander an etheric counterpart of the material world. And certain time, for a certain time, they remain in there, but it won't, be forever. Some helper will come and they're gonna transfer into the proper psychoanalytical shell in the psychoanalytical world.
This next question is about one of the previous lessons on spiritual awakening called Lost in the Heavens. He says, listening to this wonderful lesson, you talk about desires. Are desires also including our instincts that form desires? I'm a little bit confused. Maybe I'm missing something here, but it seems like listening to the lesson that all kinds of desires, including human, animal instincts, come from elementals or systems of elementals, such as egregores. Sorry. Well, I'll go back to the first part and talk about that. Yeah, sure. The instincts that basically are the most ancient of elementals, create the most ancient of elementals. And they're really 5 in nature. And they are the 5 S's: sleep, desire for sleep, desire for sex, desire for sustenance, food, shelter, and survival. All these things. Now, an elemental is created by a thought, feeling, or action, right? So this instinct to survive, it may have really been super valuable to us as a caveman. Say, oh no, I gotta take it for me, I gotta protect me, this is mine. Maybe that was really okay for a caveman. It was okay for the caveman in his environment. But today, to think so selfishly that everything has to be about you because you want to survive, it's time to let that go. So, but surely the acting out and the impulses of instincts create desires, and those are desire-based elementals. Now, when he says either come from human instinct elementals or systems of elementals that he calls, and I think I'm pronouncing this right, egregores. Egregores is a reference to like what's been written as the most illuminated fallen angel. This is back to the top 2. But again, remember, they're not fallen angels. Once a spirit being has become classified, has chosen to follow the will of God and become classified as an archangel, it's impossible for them to fall. What happens is before the classification is either human beings or archangelic beings, some spirit beings choose not to go through it. These are the fallen ones. They go off to the side. They don't want to follow, they don't want to go through the classification of the divine will, basically. But because God gave every spirit being, the first thing he gave is free will, that gives them the ability to do this. So they've gone off to the side, and by doing that, they're deprived of the creative power of the Holy Spirit. They can't even create a bug. They couldn't create an insect. All they can do is create negative influence on us that serves as our training, remember? So they're not fallen angels at all. So that's that one. You have one? Here's one from Laura. I know the teachings often say the importance of meditation and exercises for short periods of time at regular intervals, as much as possible. Does it begin to happen that some will feel called to longer periods? And how will do you find yourself longing for the silence and inner activity? Or do you set a special time with an alarm that reminds you to do the exercises and healing work? How have you two moved through the years and adjusted your practices? Yeah, the point of this is, and of course it's at the beginning for sure, we don't need any bit more than 20, 30 minutes on a meditation. And really what you'll notice in the beginning, you're not trained to be able to hold your concentration. So it's better for you to be able to meditate in a very concentrated way for a short period of time than sit there for a long time and you meditate for 15 minutes, then 10 minutes you're off thinking about washing the dog or something. And then you come back and you start to do this again. You go, no, now I got to do something about my car. I got to change the oil. And then you come back to the meditation. That doesn't work. It works, but it's not as effective. It's just sitting there for 15 minutes and holding your mind on what you're doing. When you're done, stop immediately and go do something else. So as you progress further, sure, there's times for longer meditations, but when I say in the beginning, I mean like the first 10 years. I think you're a beginner in this system for the first 30 years, really. It's such a deep and profound system we have that we shouldn't be trying to go faster than we should. We just take it easy. Go easy. Once you get that thing where you can hold your mind for 15 minutes steady, try 20, try 30. But if you find yourself wandering off in your mind, just quit, because it's just messing it up. It's like pouring a bunch of water in a soup. It just makes it diluted. And let's see. I don't set an alarm. I just sort of follow. You kind of sense the timing of it inside. And I don't set an alarm. Oh, I see. I don't set an alarm to remember to do the exercises or healing. Actually, in the beginning, you have a time in the morning. Really, it's the best way. If you want fastest results, you do it 3 times. You can just do it once. At the end of the day, do introspection. That's one Daswellis insisted on. But in the morning, it's great to do a visualization to help energize yourself, strengthen yourself, clear yourself. Then in midday, it's good to do the same kind of visualization thing, but use it for somebody else. Do it for somebody else. Put some light around somebody that's sad or suffering in some way. Then at the end of the day, introspect on your whole day. That's all you need to do for the beginning times. But after a while, what you'll notice is, like, for example, when we do the etheric breathing, Aki's doing a bunch of good meditations on etheric breathing now. What we're doing is we're moving it through there, but after a while, you'll realize you do that all the time. You stop doing it. You don't need to sit down to do it. You can sit down and do it for 15 minutes, but I mean, you just, where I am, and I know she is too, but you're just working with the etheric vitality all day long. Sure, your mind will get distracted, you'll go off, you'll forget about it, but really, it's good to breathe and take it in anytime you feel like it. In fact, you should just stop every 15 minutes and take about 3 deep breaths. That's all you need to do. But you'll discover that you're working with this etheric vitality all the time for yourself. And when you're talking with other people, you want to be giving them light and truth and love and the best you can be for them. The last part of the question is just, have we adjusted? Yeah, you always adjust. You always fine tune. A lot of times you'll go through and you'll go for years and I'm going to go back to basics. I'm going to start over.
Yes.
You please.
Yes, he made a very good point. From my side, I make meditations. And I do meditate. I do meditation 12 noon. Of course, in the morning and in the night before I sleep. But my main meditation time is the 12 noon. And I think of it like I'm like having a lunch to nourish myself. And I do same exercise every day from the different angle. But every day, 12 noon, I do it. So point here is we, as a researcher of truth, we should express the teaching and the practice in our daily life joyfully. We should not separate, just studying, just the meditation, but we can express teaching and the meditation in our daily life. So we should not make a kind of separation. This time is for spiritual work. This time is for our daily life. We should more and more express what we learned or what we practiced in our daily life. This is the highlight of this teaching. So when I create meditation, I meditate myself, of course, and put the essence of the teaching from various fields. But the most important thing is the scholar says only 15 minutes morning and night meditation works, and that's okay. likewise, we should have some kind of pattern, like a pattern breathing, the pattern, the meditation time, pattern, regularly. We have to do it regularly. Then our subconsciousness imprint what we are doing, constantly. So, okay, today we meditate like this. Okay, next day at the same time we do the same thing. Okay, next day we do the same thing. But day by day we add some little essence, or even we repeat the same things. Subconsciousness, imprint everything, and we forget. But when we work on same meditation, for example, next day comes back immediately. So these kind of constant repetition gives us a lot of real power, because the subconsciousness is very pure, and whatever we imprint, preserve and present as it is. So that's why we have we'd better do the exercise regularly and use this practice, what we gained in our daily life. That's the way what I'm practicing myself in my life.